Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. For we have a very nice map right here. The best map so far, in my opinion. Map28, Maelstrom. In this area, you really just want to blast through on the left side. You should also keep your distance from the imps that you're blasting. Significant distance. I found that you get a better survival rate that way. In this area, I decide to shoot this revenant first and alert the Cyberdemon so that it walks away from the area to which I will be going next. Although, usually, it still is annoying right there. I start firing rockets ahead of time so I can get as much damage on these archviles as possible before they are able to move forward a lot and corner me against a bunch of chain gunners. Same thing here. However, this time it's easier because they're distracted. These chain gunners distract them by either firing upon them or being resurrected. I actually did worse this time than normal. Usually I can get out with like 120 or something, at least more recently. However, I did not this time. Now that I've got the yellow key, I want to pick up this health bonus to activate the teleporter, and then go into the blue area. There are a couple things I like to do before starting the Hell Knight barrage. And that's killing that particular revenant, and killing these Menkibai. These Menkibai aren't dangerous now, but they will be later, so I want them dead as soon as possible. I'll tell you when they would be dangerous. When we get there. When you walk around here, all these guys get brought up. I like, once again, staying on the left side. And I just lower everything until I have a clear path to this archvile, and I take him down. This revenant needs to die, and all of these guys need to die. It's unusual to see zombie men used in a map, but whenever I see them used in a slaughter map such as this one, they're always in groups because they really pose no threat on their own. Now this area, I've died many times in this area. It's not the most times I've died, but it's the most frustrating way to die. I sort of just try and get all of the barons to die. Behind that baron, you'll see a area with a bunch of torches. It's to my left right now. Yeah, there's a couple torches over there. And that was where the Menkibai were. They would be firing upon me at this point if I had not killed them. Now these pain elementals, they are what is frustrating because for some reason they get accidentally alerted, and whenever they get accidentally alerted, it usually causes me to get screwed over and die. Fortunately, that didn't happen this time, so I get to continue on. These archviles pose no threat at this point as long as you don't just walk into them. So these health bonuses, once you go onto them, then it lowers the exit to this area. But I won't be using that exit. I'll be using an alternate exit. Now down here, just kill everything with the BFG here, so I can safely take out these 3 enemies on pillars. There's a lot of health in this area. You don't need all of it unless things go wrong in this area. Now this one enemy is the most frustrating enemy in the map. There's like a node builder problems or something, and it means that you can't shoot at this guy unless you're on one of those stairs, which makes him incredibly annoying to kill. Like, all of the pellets or BFG shots can just get blasted into thin air. and become useless. Now I'm going back to this area. Something surprising is that the Cyberdemon had gotten out into the main area. Usually it's stuck right here, somewhere. But that does mean I get to save some ammo. What I would usually do is, you noticed how I hit that switch that was blue. I would go into the area that opened up from it and kill all of the imps with the rocket launcher. But in this case, I don't have to do that. Or at least, I don't have to do it as soon. I'm still gonna have to kill some imps, I think. Actually, no, I've misremembered. I don't have to kill them, they're already dead. Brilliant. I don't kill this guy with the BFG because I'm trying to save BFG ammo in case something goes wrong in the next fight. And unfortunately, he was already quite damaged, so I didn't have to do it for super long. So, in here, when I hit this switch, those walls behind me lower. I sort of try and go in between them, and get a bunch of tracers on the Revenants if I can. Hopefully without hitting the Cyberdemon so that it will infight. Eventually, like I'm doing now, I try and get behind and start firing upon all of the enemies with the rocket launcher. There were a lot more of them this time, so I had to dodge many Revenant rockets. Now I have to dodge Cyberdemon rockets. I'm being cautious here. I think I had died recently to one of these guys because I was being stupid, so might as well just play it safe. Although that will not be what I will be doing in later fights. Now this area is not too difficult at all. I've died here a couple times, but it's usually just me being incompetent. Or the Cyberdemon just not cooperating. That's another thing that can happen. Something I really like about this map is that no matter what fight you're in, there's always the possibility of death. Even if it's just from you making mistakes. That Cyberdemon was distracted, so I decided to kill it with the BFG in such a way that it would not be able to fire back at me. Because it's distracted. It doesn't really matter if I use a lot of rockets here, because in the next area, I'll be getting very many. Sometimes these cacodemons take a really long time to come out. It's quite annoying. But here we have the fights where a lot of people die. I actually was given a good strategy for this fight by someone I was talking to while figuring this place out. I don't remember what their YouTube name is, but if I do, then I'll link their channel in the description because they were incredibly helpful. Essentially, in this first part, I try and just kill as many as I can of the Hell Knights with the rocket launcher, but it doesn't really matter. And then I want to get into this alcove. and kill all of these revenants with the BFG from here. Eventually, I want to go around them, and then go around to here. Once I'm here, I'm in a pretty good position, and I can start taking out the superior enemies, like the Archviles. Something you should not do in this fight, though, is go out of your way to kill the Archviles unless you're given a really good situation to do so. Because if you take too many risks trying to kill the Archviles, you'll just die. And at this point, the Archviles really aren't that much of a threat, because they're in the middle of the crowd. However, it does cause it to take more time, so I start taking risks because I'm getting impatient. But fortunately, those risks end up paying off. And this fight is essentially neutralized. I'm just checking for more cell packs right now. It's always good to have more. Now I can get the red key. And I go back to the blue area to clean up all these Hell Knights, and sometimes other enemies which survive. Usually those two Mencubi that you see the corpses of right there survive, so I have to kill them myself. And there's also one of two secrets in this map, which are in this area. I run out of rockets, as you can see, so I decide to use the super shotgun because cells are valuable in the following fight. Which also happens to be the finale, the grand finale, if you will. That secret gives you a megasphere, which doesn't really matter, but this is a UVMax, so you need all the secrets. By the way, this black floor is damaging, so it doesn't really matter as long as you're not on low health, so I'm saying so a lot. I need to find an alternative at some point. Now this switch is a shoot switch, but I'm doing this the fancy way, so I hit all three switches at once, and then I run over to this corner. When these barons get out far enough, I decide to make a run for it. At this point, I'm in a pretty uncertain position. I've made it past the parts where I'm most likely to die, but now I've got the part where I'm second most likely to die. And that's right here. However, I've made it through, so now I can go around and sort of just circle strafe. Well, not circle strafe yet. Right now it's a bit of U-strafing in the progress. But once this area opens up more, I can do a proper circle strafe of attrition to kill everything left. I decided to grab that megasphere because it's not really a problem having more health and armor. And now I can't just get instantly killed by a Cyberdemon rocket, so it's a good thing. Since that exit area opened, I decided to hit it so I wouldn't have to later on. The amount of archviles is dwindling from the infighting, so I start attacking. You don't want to attack until most of the archviles are dead, because if you do, then they can all just get alerted on you and instantly zap you to death. There's a lot of megaspheres around right now that I couldn't get earlier because they were, well, in the midst of the infighting. But now I can, so I've basically won. As I'm clearing up this area, I'll tell you about the areas of the map that I died the most in. The area that I died the most in out of any of the areas was actually the Archvile Chain Gunner area. The one in the beginning where it teleports in. Also, I'm spinning really pathetically that time. Not as good as usual. I got disoriented, so I had to reorient. And the other area that I died the most in was just the barrage until I figured it out. And after that, once I got those two areas down most of the time, it was just the entire blue island. It's the second island I went to. It's the one with all the Hell Knights. However, I was able to triumph, and I actually got a pretty good time for a first exit, I'd say. I was pretty surprised when I got this time. I was expecting either 18 to 22 minutes. However, I was able to get it in less than 17, so that's surprising to me. Anyways, the next map is quite infamous. You probably know about it, and you can definitely look forward to it. Goodbye, and have a good day, ladies and gentlemen.